I would first invite Dr. Vitrag Shah. He is a consultant diabetologist at the city of Surat. He's a very good friend of mine and he's also very active on the social media for the public awareness program. So I invite Dr. Vitrag Shah for carry on further. Over to you, Dr. Vitrag.
So the article is from the journal Diabetologia, and it is on retinal vascular tortuosity and the Vitrag, you can share slide.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
fractal dimension practice incident. Yeah.
So first of all, good morning, everyone. I would like to congratulate Swasthya team and Dr. Mayur Patel sir for this glorifying 17 years of success in the field of diabetes and metabolic disease. And I would like to thank Dr. Yash Patel and Swasthya team for inviting me for presenting such article in this monthly metabolic review. Today my topic is retinal venular tortuosity and fractal dimension that predict incident retinopathy in adults with type 2 diabetes. It was Edinburgh type 2 diabetes studies. So it was published in online on 30th January 2021 in Diabetologia Journal. And the article was received before 3 months back then in 9 September 2020. So introduction, 1 minute, I'm having some problem here. Okay. The aim or hypothesis to perform this study was to determine whether a range of pre-specified retinal vessel traits that were associated with incident diabetic retinopathy in adults with specifically type 2 diabetes. So the microvascular of the retina offers a unique opportunity for research for the systemic vascular system, as it is one of the only locations in vivo where we can possibly visualize the vasculature of the human body non-invasively and can be performed very easily on daily OPD basis with some experts we sometimes never required a specific ophthalmologist. With the optometrist or some other experts, we can do it on OPD basis and collect the data. So Edinburgh type 2 diabetes study was a longitudinal cohort of older men and women based in Lothian City, Scotland. In brief, total 1066 participants were enrolled, aged between 60 to 75 years, were randomly selected from the diabetes register of Lothian City. So criteria of inclusions were any participants who was taking oral glucose lowering medications or insulin therapy or was managing his diabetes on with lifestyle modification with diet control methods who have baseline HbA1c level of 6.5 percentage or more. All those patients were involved in this randomized cohort. Uh, all the participants baseline fundus photography was done and was graded between R0 to R4. That was no diabetic retinopathy at R0, mild retinopathy R1, observable right R2, referable R3, and proliferative diabetic retinopathy R4. For this analysis, incident retinopathy was considered any grade above R1, that is mild retinopathy or above. All the patients were considered were having incident diabetic retinopathy. A participant was also determined to have incident retinopathy if there were laser photocoagulation scars present already in the subsequent visit. So at the baseline screening was done. 340 participants out of 1066 participants had prevalent diabetic retinopathy and 8 participants did not attend the baseline eye screening. So during this is of the 10-year follow-up study, the incident diabetic retinopathy was 11.4%, that is 82 participants out of 718 participants with no prevalent disease diabetic retinopathy at the baseline. So after adjustment for a range of vascular and diabetes risk factors, both increased venular tortuosity and decreased fractal dimensions were associated with incident retinopathy in such patients. So these were total of 1066 patients were enrolled in the study. Out of that, for 348 patients were excluded who have R1 to R4 grade retinopathy and 8 patients were missing at the baseline. So no prevalent diabetic retinopathy out of 718 patients had no prevalent diabetic retinopathy at the baseline evaluation. So out of that 11.4%, as we have discussed in the earlier slide, 11.4% patients have developed incident retinopathy, and 20 participants were missing at the follow-up subsequent visits. So here what we are talking about, the venular tortuosity and fractal dimension. So what are they? So tortuosity, that is described as the degree of curvature of a vessel, like how much the vessel is twist and turn over the period of the time, both arterial and venular. In this study, we have involved only venular tortuosity separately. And what is fractal dimension? Which describes how the vasculature pattern fills a two-dimensional space, thus a measure of complexity or sparsity of the vascular network. So at the end of the 10 years of follow-up study, there were increased venular tortuosity here you can see, and there is decreased fractal dimension. So sparsity of the vascular network has been decreased in such patients. So one important thing that we have to notice here, that many study has suggested the poor A1C control will also lead to the retinopathy in future. So the patient who have developed incident retinopathy has HbA1c of 7.6%, and those who did not develop the retinopathy has A1c of 7.2%. So poor glycemic control compared to good glycemic control also is a part, increase the incident of retinopathy in patients. So the study concluded that increased retinal venular tortuosity and decreased fractal dimensions are associated with incident diabetic retinopathy, independent of classical risk factors like age, weight, BMI, smoking, etc. So further, concluding evidence that venular tortuosity may be a useful biomarker to improve the predictive ability of the models based on the established retinopathy risk factors, and its inclusion in further study risk prediction modeling is warranted. There are certain limitations with this study, is that the further research and data definitely would be helpful to explore in this direction with larger age group of patients. In this particular study, only 60 to 75 age group patients were taken from a specific geographical location and specific ethnicity. So we need more data with patients. We have different ethnicity, different geographical locations, and inclusion of newly detected type 2 diabetes mellitus patients also for the type 2 diabetes studies. So these are the reference sections for the article particular. Thank you. Happy Sunday, everyone.
Pleasure, Vitraj. And it is indeed pleasure that we have worked something in newly detected type 2 diabetes patients also. But rightly, you mentioned that there are plenty of data required on the same. The comment is, I would say, if anyone, sir, if Dr. Prasanna Kumar, sir, if you want to start with, yeah.
Thank you for the nice paper, and it's very interesting. Let us see what we knew, what we did not know. All of us, as yes said, we are concentrating on the retinal artery. Did we concentrate on retinal vein? No. When we concentrated on vein, it's only venous thrombosis, retinal vein thrombosis, that's all. We never knew about the vein. So now this paper throws up one different light coming from Edinburgh and a good journal like Diabetology. A new technology of first looking into retinal veins. Next thing is, we are not just looking at vein, the thickness, blah, blah. Here is something we are looking at, retinal venular tortuosity. So if you look at retinal venular tortuosity, there's a correlation between the eye problems, okay, whether it is background retinopathy, proliferative, blah, blah, and other things, which has thrown up a new, this one. We don't know about the technology. What I would like to know from Vitraj, you have gone through the article and the previous. What decides the retinal venular tortuosity? What is the normal? Normal vein is not tortuous. Okay, it is continuous, it is flowing. Why does it become tortuosity? How do you say the relationship between effect and the cause? So cause-effect relationship of uncontrolled diabetes and leading to retinal venous tortuosity, and that is leading to diabetic retinopathy, which we are interested. What is this cause-effect relationship? What is the pathophysiology? Why a vein becomes tortuous? Just like varicose veins. Varicose veins become tortuous. Then you can see that and say it is that. And what does it indicate? All of us. I want this cause-effect relationship, retinal venular tortuosity.
So Thank you, sir, for asking this question. There may be certain physiological or modifiable risk factors that can cause the venular tortuosity. That may include high blood sugars, hypertensive crisis, or the other that we think that about the orbital pathway in the our retina, that all these particular things that may lead to tortuosity of the veins.
You are an ophthalmologist.
No, sir.
So an ophthalmologist going through this article will be able to explain.
That's true,
Because
sir.
for anything, it is not just observation. I observe this and it is found. No, I'm sure if you read the discussion, and in the discussion, please send me the full paper. Sorry, I missed it last time you sent. I have read it, but I'm not sure about the details. They will give how the starchity of the venous retinal veins are occur. There should be a hypothesis. There should be scientific sense. Why a straight vein becomes starches? Like in varicose vein, we know it is pressure which cannot. There must be some physiological cause and a pathology. And etiopathogenesis is why it becomes. It is not just I find this vein, I got relation now. No paper will be accepted like that. There should be a very strong scientific basis why they have looked at that. I want to know that. That will be most important. If there is a retinologist in this group, they can enlighten me, educate me about it.
Was Kush there? Kush has left. We will get back to you on this because they rightly mentioned the cause effect, whether it is what are the mechanism behind it, that to be focused, and with the, is it the duration of diabetes, is it the control of the diabetes, or it is the age, what are the different factors playing around that we or maybe habits or the lifestyle, we have to focus on that, and we'll come out on that. Yeah, that's true, sir. It has mentioned also renal function also somewhere, renal function and the blood pressure, but it is better we
Correct.
yeah.
See, whatever changes are occurring in the retinal arteries, retinal veins will be happening in the kidney. Of course, discordance is there 5 to 8%, but concordance is 80%. So if you do such a thing, let us say you do a kidney biopsy, look at kidney arteries, kidney veins, retinal arteries, retinal veins. The same changes should be going on there. That is true. Just like macrovascular, whatever changes occurs in peripheral vascular disease is happening in the coronary arteries, cerebral arteries also. It is only one manifest earlier than the other for various reasons. But definitely like microvascular, in these three things, the heart, peripheral and brain, the micro, it's retinal, nephro, neuro, always is happening. That's why all of them go hand in hand. But the affecting the target organ may be different, be to different other reasons. That is different. The nerves are the longest. That's why they are getting affected first. Then you get retinopathy, then you get nephropathy. That's a different issue.
That's
But
true.
here I want to know the cause exactly. There should be some relation between the blood sugar and torsity of the vein. What exactly is the path? Let me also do search and
Sure,
then find
sure.
out if there is a cause. Or there may be other papers trying to. I'm sure this
The-
paper
the-
itself will discuss.
that's true, but the reference for the retinal vein is so minimal, like you rightly mentioned. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
But we'll be able to find out.
Let's dive into it. Yeah, we'll come on that for the same. Yeah, or we can also do with our retinal people and look into. Yeah.
Exactly. Contact your retinologist, ask him this question, give the paper. I'm sure he'll come back with that. I will also do my research. See, this is what I feel. When we read a good paper, you have 5 questions. I and you may not have an answer. And if you ask 5 people, we are the one going to benefit. I want to go into basics of it. Why exactly this happened? And after 5 years, somebody says this is a paper nonsense. Now, it. 2021 on this 20th of June, we discussed in Swastika. Now everybody is talking about it. So both ways it can happen. That's
That's
the
true. That's
good
true.
thing about the Indian market.
Yes. Any
Inside
other?
this,
Yeah, Vitrag, yeah.
screen here, that here there are certain other modifiable risk factors that also in this table, that those who are smoker, that is incidence is 48%, while non-smoker is 54% who have not developed. So here one thing is very contraindicating, that smoking usually increases such incidence, while in this study there were 48.2%
So
patients who are
there is a
non-smokers
percentage
who have
ratio
developed.
you are saying, Vitra. The
Yes.
p-value is not so significant.
Yes.
So that is also we can understand. And yes, the
Yes.
limitation of study is also in the background.
That
Yeah.
is true.
That's true. And thank you for putting this graph. It's better we'll go connect to our specialist on the same and do needful. But what you mentioned is HbA1c and the vascular sensitivity is much more affected. We got it. Thank you, Vitra. Yeah. Any other comments from other experts or any doctors? Any want to share as we are around, or we can take to the second article. Yeah. Yes. Let's take to the take another article, that is Dr.